Hey, it's Josh here. In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of WordPress. This is actually part 2 of a little beginner tutorial series I'm doing. In the first part, we learned how to install and set up WordPress. Now I'm going to give you an overview. We're going to look at the front end and the back end, and then we're going to talk about plugins and themes, pages versus posts, and some other things so you have a really good understanding of WordPress, and that way you're ready to start building websites. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so we are logged into our brand new WordPress website. We just went over how to install it, and we covered some basic settings to set up your website under the options here under settings. Now, I'm going to just give you a basic 101 overview of some of the main options for WordPress so you have a good understanding of it before you start building websites. Now, to start, your dashboard may look a little bit different depending on what host you use to set up your website. So with SiteGround, for example, it generally has like a starter dashboard. Whatever you use to set up your website, your WordPress site, should give you an option to switch back to the default dashboard, and that's usually what I always do. Cool thing about this is with WordPress, you'll have all these modules here that will tell you different stuff, and you may have different modules that automatically get added in here depending if you use certain plugins or themes. Cool thing about that is you can move these around, you can adjust these, you can exit or dismiss certain things, and if you really don't want to see everything, you can go up to screen options and you can select what you want to see and what you don't want to see. Super handy. And side note, these screen options will be on every page, every post, and most every backend section of WordPress, so you can move things around and kind of customize your experience, which is pretty cool. So we'll just keep this there for now, and that's kind of what your dashboard is going to look like. Now, with updates, when you are using WordPress, you're going to use two main things, plugins and themes. We're going to talk about that shortly, but this is where it's going to show you if there are any updates needed, and you always want to make sure you have your websites updated for security purposes, to make sure there's no vulnerabilities with plugins or tools you use. It's just like any software. It needs to be updated if it's going to be secure. So you'll see a lot of that here. I think it's a little more tricky. The more plugins you have and the more tools, you'll want to use some sort of platform often if you have a lot of sites that will update things automatically for you, or you can update in bulk. I use ManageWP. I'll link that below. It's a really handy site for updating a lot of sites. But in any case, that's what you'll see here. Now, the biggest difference between posts and pages are exactly what it sounds like. Pages are actual pages in your website. Posts are blog posts and other post types that you can use, and you can categorize them. So for example, on my website, I have Divi tutorials, WordPress tutorials, vlogs, podcasts. Those are all posts, and I just create different categories, whereas pages are going to be your actual pages. So if we click into pages here, you'll see right out of the gate, WordPress is generally going to have a privacy policy page and a sample page, and you can either edit, you can trash this usually, you can add new. And that's what we're going to do shortly here. Before we get into pages, though, I want to just cover a couple things. The rest of this is pretty self-explanatory. Media, we don't have anything in the site yet because I haven't posted anything, but anytime you post or anytime you add a video or a file or an image or anything, it's going to show up here. And then it's very nice to be able to search these and kind of organize them too, which is pretty cool. Covered pages, comments are just that. Any comments you get on your site are going to show up there. We're going to cover what's under appearance shortly, but I want to get right into the goods, which are plugins. So by default, you're going to have generally a couple plugins depending on, again, what host you use to set up your site. Now, this WordPress starter comes automatically with SiteGround. We don't need that, so I'm going to deactivate it, and then I'm going to actually delete this one entirely. The SiteGround Optimizer, which is also down here, is going to give us some additional settings you'll see that have things for caching, SSL certificates, and some other, like there's performance tests. There's a lot of other details in here at the time of this plugin. And again, your host may have something similar. This is not absolutely needed though, but I generally like to keep this on all my sites. Now, the other big one is the classic text editor for WordPress. And let me explain what I mean here. We go into pages and we do a new page. Let's call this home. At the time of recording this video, this will probably completely change by the time I publish this, but at the time of recording this, if I publish a page, it's automatically using what's called the new Gutenberg editor. This was recently introduced just about a year back at the time of recording this. I got to be honest, I still don't care for the Gutenberg editor. I prefer the classic editor for WordPress. So if we look at pages here, you'll see that I have home. And what I want to do is install the classic editor because I believe this is going to be supported for at least a couple more years. I'm recording this in the beginning of 2020. I think it's going to be supported out to 2022. So let's go to plugins. And I'm going to add new. Now, the beauty about WordPress is that there are a bazillion free plugins. There's premium and paid plugins as well, but there's also a ton of free plugins. And you'll see right out of the gate what's there. There's the classic editor. So I'm not alone. 5 million plus people are still using this as well. So we're going to install this. And anytime you want to search for a plugin and install it, you can just do it right through the plugins section of WordPress. You can also go to wordpress.org and search plugins like that. But what I want to do is install this, and then I actually want to make sure that this is set for all the users of the website, that it's set to the classic editor. I don't care for the block editor, which is what's called Gutenberg. I like the classic editor. So now if we go back into pages and we look at home, that just looks nicer to me, quite honestly. We've got the title there, we've got the content here, and then there's additional stuff on the right. Now, the posts will be set up the same. If I do posts, I've got nothing here, but I can set up a new post. And if I do, let's just say test post, if I set that up there and publish, you'll see that everything looks the same except there are categories. So again, this is where you could set up different categories for different types of blog posts. Really, really handy when you want to segregate or categorize your posts. So there you go. That's the biggest difference between posts and pages. And again, I like to go to plugins and make sure I have Classic Editor installed. And then if you click under settings there, you can just make sure that all of the users of your website will be seeing the Classic Editor instead of the Gutenberg, the block editor, which is really, really cool. Now, apart from that, everything else is pretty standard. When you have certain plugins in place, you'll see those under tools, which will have more settings. And the other big thing are users, which is just where you're going to manage your different users for your site. If it's just you as an admin, you can edit your profile. Sometimes you may set up different users. Like if you have a client that's just blogging, you can set up a blogger, or either a subscriber or a contributor, a role for them, so they don't have to be full admin, so they can't blow up your site. That's pretty cool. But those are the big ones. So that's kind of an overview. And the other thing, before we get into appearance here, which is where the big stuff goes, is on your website. If you click out on your, right now, this is the 2020 version. I'm recording this on January 27th. So this is what this looks like. But we're going to talk about themes next. You can go throughout the website here, and whatever page you're on, you're going to see that up here is your toolbar. When you're logged into WordPress, you can access editing the page here as well. Super handy. You can also go in and add new whatever plugins or any tools you have here. Like if you have an events plugin and a calendar plugin, you'll likely have options here to create those new as well. So super handy. And again, when you're out on the website, you can just click edit page as opposed to going to the dashboard and having to go to pages then to find your page. So very, very handy. So with all that said, let's just touch base on appearances and themes. Now, themes are the biggest thing for WordPress because themes are what you're going to actually build your website through. So right now we have the 2020 theme activated, but if we go to this theme, 2019, and activate this one, you'll see that it changes the look of the site completely. So themes will change your site dramatically, which is why I like to actually stick to one theme. And if you notice at the beginning of the past couple of videos I put out here, I'm wearing a purple shirt with a circle D, and that's because I use the Divi theme by Elegant Themes. I have used this theme since 2014, and I have not looked back, guys. It's incredible. I literally use this theme for every website build. Me and my web design business, we use Divi on every single build, and it's so versatile. It's got a great community around it. There's so many reasons why Divi is just incredible. And at the time of this video, I think they're supporting, getting almost 650,000 customers. So Elegant Themes, who creates Divi, they've just been on it. They've been such a valuable resource for me and my business. But I love Divi, and it's the main theme I use. And that's what we're actually going to talk about next. I'm going to show you how to install this. And it doesn't matter what theme you use. If you use Elementor or another builder, or again, you can go back into WordPress and you can actually search themes. There are a bazillion themes out there with WordPress. You can find something that looks exactly like what you want to go for. But again, I recommend Divi. That's what you're going to want to do. And I will say, if you use my affiliate link below, you'll get a discount when you purchase Divi, an annual or membership license to Elegant Themes. So be sure to use that. And we're going to cover some Divi things after this as well. But in any case, let's go ahead and install Divi and then just cover a couple things to wrap up this overview of WordPress. Now, when you purchase a theme, generally it's going to give you a zip file, and that's what we actually want to upload into our themes in WordPress. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to add new theme, and I'm going to upload, in this case, Divi. I just found that on my computer, and we're going to install the Divi theme. So again, you can use my affiliate link below and you'll get a discount on Divi if you want to give that a go. Most of my tutorials that you'll find on my channel and my site are in and around Divi, and I'm a big part of the Divi community. The community around it is amazing. I'm actually going to give you guys some other resources below as to why you should check out Divi. I've talked about that extensively in the past. So what we're going to do is install this, and I'll show you what's next. All right, so it generally doesn't take long at all to install the theme, and you'll see here, we can activate it right now, but in this case, let me just go back to themes. Right now, we're still using 2019, but if I activate Divi, that's installed. Now, if I go to the site, it looks way different. We're just getting started out with Divi. And as I mentioned, depending on what theme or whatever plugins or tools you use, a lot of times things will look different over here on the left. So check that out. There's a little icon for Divi. Now, this has theme options, theme customizer, the Divi library, things that are specific to Divi in our WordPress install. So before we were under appearance, and you could see some of these things here. Well, now this is basically irrelevant with Divi. So now any theme options I make, any customizations are going to be through the Divi theme options, which this video is just basic WordPress overview. So we're not going to cover all this. But that's essentially how that works. The only other thing as far as a basic Divi overview that I want to recommend are your widgets. A lot of times, these widgets are going to impact pages around your site. So you'll see, for example, when I installed Divi, it gave us some footer area options. Now there's a sidebar. If I go back to my website, you'll see here that there's search, there's search, there's recent posts, recent comments, archives, categories, and metadata. If I go to the widgets, what do you know? Search, recent posts, comments, archives, etc. So you can drag these out and around. You can customize your sidebar. Let's say we get rid of that. Let's say we just want to have recent posts and categories. Now, if I go back to my site and refresh, there we go. You'll see the adjustments I made in this widget area apply to the theme. And aside from the widget area, the only other really important thing under appearance, now that we have the Divi theme installed, are the menus. So if you click menu, this is where you're actually going to set, you guessed it, your menu. So right now, if we go to the website, normally with WordPress, any post or page that you publish is going to automatically pop up on the main navigation unless you create and set a menu. So under appearance, you'll go to menus and you can create a menu. You'll see I just have a bunch saved. Usually I create one that's called like nav bar or main menu, something like that. That's short for navigation bar. And then depending on the theme you use, it's going to give you an option as far as where you want to put this menu. So with Divi, it gives us the option for a primary menu, a secondary menu, or a footer menu. Pretty cool. So in this case, it's going to be the primary menu. And now you can actually select whatever page you want in the menu and drag it in there. So we've got the home page there. If we create let's go ahead and save this. If we create a new page real quick and then add it in there, let's call this contact, publish it. Now we go back to appearance menus. We can add the contact page to the main menu. Let's save that. And now we go back out to the site and refresh. We should see home and contact. And there we go. So that's how you do that. And the other thing, now that we have a home page, remember where we need to go to set a home page. We can go to reading. Going to go to reading, and we want to make sure a home page is set to home. Easy peasy. So those are really the only settings under appearance. The widgets, which is where you have a lot of options to do things for sidebars and footer areas, and your menus. And again, you can create more menus. Really, really cool too with WordPress. It's all drag and drop. And as I mentioned in the very beginning, remember, there are screen options for most every portion of WordPress in the back end. And here you'll see there's a bunch of different options that you can use here too. Sometimes when you get into CSS and coding, which we'll talk about in the future, you can also add some things to your menu here that will give you more options for each one of these elements. So those are the big things with the two things under appearance. Everything else, you'll adjust through the theme customizer of whatever theme you're using. And I do want to say I have a WordPress Divi Beginners course that takes all this to the next level. So I'm just giving you guys a basic overview of WordPress here, but if you want to use Divi and you're ready to start building awesome websites, WordPress and Divi are the two things that I recommend, and it's why I created my beginners course. It actually takes everything that we've covered up to this point, it just kind of goes to the next level on it. So we dive into the weeds on all these settings, and it'll really benefit you with being the most cost-effective and fastest way to start building your website. So all that to say, without further ado, guys, those are the first couple lessons as far as installing, setting up WordPress, a good general overview of the main WordPress settings. Again, I use Divi. I love it. It's what I've used for years, but there are a ton of other theme options out there for WordPress, but that just gives you an overview of kind of what that's all about. Now, the next video, we're going to cover what a Divi child theme is, which is the other main question I get, particularly for people who are getting into WordPress and Divi. So I'll see you on the next one. Again, use my affiliate link below for a discount to buy Divi. You can do an annual membership with Elegant Themes or the lifetime, and you will not be disappointed. Divi is awesome. The guys behind Elegant Themes are awesome, and the community around Divi is incredible too. So check that out. We'll see you on the next video, guys.